a lot of franchise systems can't get part-time to work. But I think you've
Hmm.
got,
Yeah.
partially it's maybe the nature of the beast, right? And the other part of it is that the systems and process you have in place. Would you agree?
Yeah, it's probably a reflection of my own experience too, because it's a when I started part time out of necessity because this business takes a while to get paydays. So it's not like you open the franchise and start and you have receipts coming in the next day. Flipping a house is a process, and you get paid at the end. So it's hard for people to transition to full time right off the bat, and it was for me. And so I remember how hard that was, but also how important it was. Like I really wanted to do this full time, and so but to get there, I had to do both until I got it established. And so when I built the franchise, I really had that person in mind, and so we built it in a way that you could do it part time.
I would imagine the part-time franchisees get inspired when they see what the full-time folks are doing.
Yeah, yeah, they do, and it's inspiring for us to see somebody go like be able to quit a job that they never wanted to do in the first place.
Wow.
My parents were entrepreneurs, but my dad in particular also worked at a factory, and so he did the entrepreneurial stuff on the side. And I remember how much he wanted to not have that factory job and just do what he loved. And he never, it's hard. Like it's really hard when you've got the security of a job. And he never attained that. And so for me, seeing people be able to do something where they can kind of spread their wings, have success financially, but also have a quality of life is really really rewarding. And it's just never been about the houses. Like the houses have always been a means to something else.
Well, you're again, you being so system and process oriented, and you started this flipping houses part time. What did you do before this? What's your background?
I took a wandering path. I really fell in love with teaching and coaching. And so when I finished graduate school, I taught in college. I taught history, and I coached men's soccer at King University for 12 years. And so I still love coaching. Like when you're a coach or a teacher, you can't just you don't stop being that. And so I really like it's a part of me. But franchising is it's just such a natural extension of that, because ultimately it's coaching.
Right, right. And it's so rewarding when you see somebody starting out where they knew nothing about the business and you can see them turn the corner and become
Yeah,
quote unquote successful. They're surviving off of this business, and maybe they even
yeah,
have employees of their own and now they are responsible for other people, but it's just a chain reaction. It's just an incredibly rewarding feeling, right? When you see that light bulb go on and somebody starts to turn the corner.
yeah. Like there's nothing like it. Like it's so rewarding, and I think that's why I always it's one of the many reasons that I love the franchising model. And it's also like franchising is it's just a unique model. And our first core value is ownership. And um, franchising is about ownership. So when they are successful, like they own, like it's theirs, right? Like they own that success. And you don't get that. You don't get that everywhere in life. Like it's pretty cool. And franchising is unique that way. You can work for successful companies and share that success. You can be a flaming entrepreneur and take all the risk yourself and figure it out your own way. But franchising is like this hybrid thing where you can own your success but not be alone.
Yeah, yeah. And that's so helpful for so many people that they want to be, have that business, but they feel like they can't start something or don't want to start something from scratch. Somebody like you,
Yeah.
I think if I had known you before you did this, knew the kind of person that you are, think about it, your skill set, you come from coaching and you really relish systems and processes. Like you were made to be a franchisor. Truthfully, you really were. Coaches and coaching, values coaching, and love systems and processes. Like you are the ideal founder. You really are. Not just a crazy visionary founder without pride. Like you've got the total package. That's awesome.
It's not what I dreamed about being when I grew up. When I was a little kid, I wanted to be I wanted to be a pro athlete, but it does and fit. But it's cool to see. You see that in the franchise system too. Like people have certain gifts that they were never able to really maximize or leverage in a previous job or career, and they know it. Like they feel like they were never able in that career. They were always held back, and my visualization of it is like you're living in a box that's too small for you, and then to find something where you can spread your wings and really assert your gifts. And I think business and being a franchise owner does that because we flip houses, you flip sports leagues. Like it's not so much the product as it is the opportunity to lead and to build, and whatever gifts you have an opportunity to come express themselves,
Absolutely. So whether it's houses or whether it's sports, I always say this, it's just a vehicle that we use. Because at the end of the day, it's a people business. You're teaching, management, marketing, operations, finance, accounting, technology. Those are the things we do. But we find a industry or found a segment to be able to deliver that. You're delivering a flipping of houses, and it's something that's obviously proven itself in all different economical cycles works.
A common theme of this conversation has been the people. Like it's about the people. It's not about the houses or the sports leagues. It's about the people and the relationships. I do think it's important. Like the product is important in that it determines the quality of people that you can have relationships with. And if you choose the wrong product, it's very difficult to surround yourself with the right people. And so there's a lot of really good franchise offerings out there, but I think the product does matter in that regard. And it does matter in terms of the quality of life that product affords.
Well, there's 4,000 plus franchisors out there with their brand.
Yeah.
It's incredible. But yet 84% of them never get to 100 franchise units. And you're like halfway there, and you just started in 2019. So I know it won't be long before you pass that magical number. How big is big for you? Tell me about your vision.
The more I learn about franchising, the more I think the metric should be about quality than quantity. And when I look at other franchise systems, you go to a franchise conference and everyone defines themselves by the number of franchises they have. And I think that might be the wrong metric, because you can grow a franchise system really fast. Like you can have really good marketing, tell a great story, and grow a franchise really quickly. And you see franchise systems like that, but they're attracting the wrong people. They're not successful. And it seems to me like success with a franchise is quality more than quantity. Is you do better with higher producing franchise owners than you do a lot of non-producing.
All right. And you get the 80-20 rule, right? 80% of the success from 20% of the people. I mean, your top 20 people or top 20% are going to be producing the most results.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's like, we feel a lot of responsibility for anybody that comes in. And like we really put a lot of effort into the the other 80%, not just the top 20%. So it's a constant. That's like going back to what I said before, like the effort that it goes into teaching everyone, because you got 46. Like some of them are fast starters, some of them were able to start as full time, some of them weren't. Like they all require different kinds of coaching, and that's something that we've really learned over the past few years. And then it's in how do you effectively coach, and then how do you measure that? Like how do you measure whether you've been effective or not? And I think back to when I was coaching, one of the things that I miss the most about coaching is you got instant feedback, right? Like you played a game, there was a score. You knew if you won, great. If you lost, you went back and you watched film and you practiced all week and you tried to fix it and win the next week. Well, business isn't like that. Like it's not that cut and dry. Like the feedback is always like never clear. And so that's what we've been spending a lot of resources here in the past couple of years trying to do a better job of keeping score and knowing when we're winning or when we're losing. But that's not easy. Like that's a lot easier said than done.
Thank you for tuning into the Emerging Franchise Brands podcast. For additional insights, guest applications, and to stay connected, visit us at efbpodcast.com. The Emerging Franchise Brands podcast is for entertainment purposes only, and the views expressed do not necessarily represent those of Emerging Franchise Brands, its host Frank Fumey, or Emerging Franchise Group LLC. Any discussed franchise or investment opportunity requires thorough investigation, obtaining proper disclosure documents, and expert consultation before making any investment decisions. The podcast and its host do not offer professional advice or endorsements, and they hold no responsibility for actions, representations, accuracy, or consequential damages related to the podcast content.